Hello everyone, I'm Rob, and you're watching Leadership, Life, and Legacy. Leadership doesn't live in a spreadsheet, doesn't reside on dashboards or in reports with perfect fonts and filtered numbers. It lives where the work is done, in the heartbeat of your organization. Let me set the stage. Today we're not sitting in a boardroom or staring at a balanced scorecard. We're stepping onto the field. Simply, that is where value is created, but also where friction is felt. It is where problems are visible. As we all know, it is where the truth has no camouflage. Or, as described by one of my former chiefs of staff, it's where the emperor is wearing no clothes. I will just let that image soak in. Today I'm going to introduce you to the Gemba walk, and it might just be one of the most underrated leadership practices you've never fully used. Let's start with this. What is a Gemba walk? Gemba is a Japanese word that means the real place. And in leadership, it's where the magic happens. It's the factory floor, the customer service desk, the data center, or even the break room. A Gemba walk isn't about inspection. It's about connection, observation, curiosity. It's about stepping away from KPIs and stepping into conversations. Next, let's discuss what a Gemba walk is not. This is not micromanagement in motion. It's not a tour, not a lecture, and it's definitely not a presentation or a performance. It's about presence without pressure. When done right, a Gemba walk builds trust, and it tears down walls. Now that we've discussed what a Gemba is and is not, why should you consider augmenting your leadership toolbox with it? Well, in simple terms, it's because you don't fix culture from a conference room. You fix it when you show up and when you stay curious. As discussed earlier, a Gemba walk isn't about monitoring your people. It's about honoring them. It's not an audit. It's an invitation. When leaders step into the work, not over it, they ask better questions. For example, what's standing in your way today? What's one thing we could remove to help you thrive? And lastly, what do you wish leadership understood from your perspective? When we ask better questions, we conclude that best insights aren't always found in weekly status reports, operational updates, or project summaries. They're whispered between team members and often whispered to people that just simply want someone to listen. This is where trust is built, where momentum begins, and where leadership leaves its legacy. It's right there in the real, in the imperfect, and it's in the value-generating corners of your organization. So the next time you're wondering how to fix engagement or performance or innovation, I encourage you to put down the report and simply take a walk and go to where the real story is being written. You don't need a title to lead a Gemba walk. You need humility, curiosity, and a willingness to trade distance for understanding. Let's unpack that concept, trading distance for understanding. It is truly a mindset shift. It is a leadership move that swaps physical, emotional, or hierarchical separation for presence, empathy, and engagement. Let's take a look at what the shift means in practice. First, it's a move from physical distance to proximity. Instead of leading from an office or a dashboard, you step onto the floor, into the workflow, and alongside your team. You walk where the work happens, because being there reveals things numbers simply cannot. At the same time, it's also a shift from hierarchical distance to intentional human connection. When this occurs, you let go of the power dynamic for the moment. You don't show up to inspect, you show up to understand. You don't lead at people, you walk with them. Lastly, it replaces emotional distance with empathy. It's the difference between sending a blanket email and sitting down for an honest conversation, and also between assuming and asking. You drop the armor of detachment and instead lean into curiosity, listening, and caring. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because the best ideas and the most urgent problems don't always bubble up in meetings. Also, it matters because people do their best when they feel seen or heard and also supported. Because leadership isn't about elevation, it's about connection. So when we say trade distance for understanding, we're really talking about moving from abstraction to authenticity, from managing tasks to knowing the people behind the work. A well-executed Gemba walk is more than just a stroll through the workplace. It's a leadership practice rooted in humility, curiosity, and connection. Now, let's break down the 8 essential steps to doing it right, along with how to bring each step to life. First, let's start with defining the purpose before you step onto the floor, in order to get a clear picture of what you're walking into. Are you observing a specific process? Are you looking for efficiencies? Are you trying to understand team dynamics? Align your purpose with a broader goal, like, for example, improving workflow, reducing waste, or simply building trust. Next, understand the process. Don't walk into it cold. Review the workflow, key metrics, and know the challenges beforehand. Know what good looks like so you can spot the gaps. Talk to a process owner or a frontline lead before you walk in. That way you can get context. This is the heart of it. Go to the place where the real work happens. Observe with fresh eyes. Watch how people interact with the tools, the systems, and each other. Be present. Don't multitask or check your phone. Your presence and engagement is your power. Observe without intervening and resist the urge to go in and fix or critique in the moment. Focus on what is happening, not just why it's happened. Look for flow, friction, and body language. Keep your assumptions in check. Take notes. Let the story unfold without steering it. Engage with respect and ask open-ended questions like, what's working well today? What's getting in your way? If you could change one thing, what would that be? Show genuine curiosity. This isn't an interrogation, it's a conversation. Recognize the current state and capture what's really happening, not necessarily what's supposed to be happening. Are there workarounds? Are people skipping steps or compensating for a broken system? Are there political dynamics in play? I refer to these as layer 8 or people issues. Look for silent signs of struggle. These are golden opportunities for improvement. Visualize the gap and compare it to what your ideal state is. This way you can determine where is value being lost, what's slowing people down or creating waste. My advice is to use sketches, sticky notes, or a whiteboard to map your process gaps visually. Remembering a picture can speak 1,000 words. Lastly, and I would submit the most critical step, is to follow up and collaborate. The walk doesn't end when you leave the floor. Share what you've learned. Invite the team into the improvement process. People like to win. To that end, celebrate what's working and co-create solutions for what's not working. Always close the loop. People remember whether you followed through or you didn't. Now let's bring this home. This is leadership at ground level. People don't just want to be led, they want to be known. They want to know that the person making decisions understands the realities of their day, the friction in the process, the weight of expectations, the quiet victories that never make it into a report. Because leadership isn't about towering over the work with authority. It's about walking through it with humility. The best leaders don't just review progress. They witness it. They ask with curiosity. They listen without an agenda. They serve without needing credit. And when they walk, not to check in, but to tune in, they begin to uncover the heartbeat of the organization. They see overlooked brilliance, the bottlenecks, the burnout signals, and the humanity behind the metrics. So if you're wondering where to start improving performance, culture, or trust, it doesn't begin with your strategy session. It begins with a step down the hallway, across the floor, and into the space where the real work lives. That's where the pulse is. That's where the truth speaks. That's leadership at ground level. And that's where legacy begins. Not in being seen at the top, but in choosing to see from the ground up. I'm Rob, and thank you for watching Leadership, Life, and Legacy.